it's Lee from Magnetic North Magnet Fishing, and today we're going to be doing a walk around and about Ashover in Derbyshire, and we're not far from the Matlocks, and that's just down the road. Beautiful sunny day, and yeah, doing a history guided type walk today, so I'll be back with you in a moment. So I've just climbed the footpath from the bottom of the valley, and over here we've got the small village of Ashover, and we've got just over there a lovely medieval church, and down in the bottom we've got the River Amber down there. So this is a medieval church here, and I'll show you that at the end of the walk. It's a beautiful area. The village does have 2 shops, a post office, several pubs as well where you can get nice meals and quality drinks from, and this is an old mining area. Used to have a railway as well, but sadly that's now gone. So here we are at the top of the valley, and back in the Carboniferous era, 330 million years ago, this was actually under the water. It was the sea, and just in front of us, the valley there, that was a deep water gorge in the water, and you used to have crinoids, sea ferns, various shells in the area, clams, productus of the name. You had mussel and oyster shells, but you also had very small sharks, which were shallow water, and there has been evidence of very small shark microdermals found. So this is the beautiful village of Ashover just there, and at the side here is the small hamlet village called Rattle. Now the reason that we call Rattle was because it used to be a weaving industry up there, and the machines was always rattling metal on wood, spinning loom up there, so that got the name of Rattle from that. And bonfires used to be on this backfield just here with the trees in, and that used to be the gathering space between Rattle and Ashover, just over here, and people would come from that top ridge and down the valley to this church. Now this area at one time had 12 pubs, all serving the community. It had bank and a few inns, but now that there's only a handful of pubs remaining. So if we look over this side, that's the other side of the ridge, which was where the tropical islands started. So occasionally you do find fossilised wood from trees and branches from about 295 million years ago over that ridge and over that side of the valley. Now along here we're still where the underwater area was, and around this particular area we'd got coral reefs here, and I'll show you some of those in a moment when we get over this stepping stile here. So we've got the footpath that way that continues down, brings you onto another side road and to the top of that ridge, and that goes over towards Slack Hill, going towards Matlock. So just on this side here, this is the path that we're going to take down the valley, and we'll go from there. So you can see on some of the rock there is this black stuff here on the rock, and that is volcanic magma, which was lavas and ash from underwater volcanoes that used to be in this area whilst it was underwater. Now it is quite muddy, so you always have to prepare for that. And again here we've got signs of volcanic ash trapped to the rocks. Now from the minerals in the area, we've got various colours of fluorites. We've got lead, which is galena, and we've got barytes, things like that, and you can always tell what they are through the hardness and the colours of those items. And there's calcite as well, and most of this in the area is fossil limestone, but in this area it's known as limestone marble, and it could polish up, make tabletops, things like that, or generally just used in the walls like here. So just here we've got a piece here, just there, which is a orangey colour, and that is the barytes that's from the area. You see it all over the walls, but it was actually used, and they did make furniture tops and things out of that. And you do see randomly in walls and things the shells and corals, things like that. So you just have to keep your eyes open when you're walking. And when you look at this valley and you think, all those years ago you was actually under the sea, and there'd be sharks and fish swimming here above you towards the skyline. So really is quite remarkable. It is a well walked path, so it is always muddy. So here we've got different colours of limestone. We've got grey and we've got white. Now if you look on this grey piece, there's these round rings here and here. Now that was actually the remains of crinoid sea fern stems, and these were attached to coral reef, and just on this side as well. Now on this one you've had a secondary forming here of fluorite calcite, and just amongst it you've got lead galena, just there, this stuff here. And this is what the people was initially mining. It's said from the Roman times all the way through to the 1950s, 60s, and then in the decline in the 70s and 80s. So that's what they were mining just there, and that was a lead based mineral. And in this colour limestone you sometimes get the corals as well. Now interestingly, just behind it you've got this piece here, and that this is volcanic ash that settled and formed onto the rocks and fossilised, and then a piece there as well. So these will be from when the volcano exploded and you had underwater ash and magma flowing into the water. And just here as well, where it's encrusted on to form a iron-based mineral. And you do get bits fossil in those as well. Now over that way there was more mines over there. All the mines in this particular area have long since shut down, and we're still in the edge of the valley, but as you can see that the land is now starting to slope upwards. So we're getting on to the very edge of where the tropical islands begin up here, and there was mines over that way, smelting works, and there's evidence of ruins up there from between 15 to 1700 sort of date, and that was a lead smelt up there. So as you go along you'll start to see different minerals, and just here you've got a piece which clearly has mineral and fossil in there, and then you've got the fossil crinoid ferns as well. They're sea lilies, that's what they were. So 100 to 150 years ago this would have been a very, very busy crossing point. So down there it goes towards Overton Hall estate, and there was a very small mine down there as well. Now down here it goes to Demon's-Dale farm, and another quarry was down there, and several other quarries and mines mining various minerals, all gone, all closed down. And just so you can see how busy this path was, this is all the access areas. So Ashover, Falgate, Goshall, Milltown and Overton behind us. So that was that way. And this particular road here, this had a lot of traffic with pack horses, with saddlebags bringing rocks out of the quarries, and eventually up to where the railway used to be later on. And that was Ashover Light Railway, and it used to bring people from Claycross in Chesterfield over to here to work, and after doing a full day's shift they could get the train back home again. And it's well known that that was used up until the 1920s, when it fell into decline and public transport had improved with early motorised vehicles which used to bring people over to the main village, and then they used to walk to the various areas that they was working in at the time. So just looking here, there's a fossilised seashell just there, and this above with all the peck marks in, that's actually a piece of coral, and it just shows that this was still under the water. And then here again we've got another piece of coral there as well. And just here we've got one of the original Victorian Edwardian railway track pieces, reused as part of the wall and fence. So this was a very busy area, and along this particular path that I'm on now, you'd also have pack horses bringing various supplies like tools, mining picks, axes, wedges, and lots and lots of timber that carried up this footpath here all the way to various mines. Now, as I said, the mines have shut down over the years, and most of them are on private land, so unfortunately I can't show you any of those sites. And just here at the side you've got a colony of where seashells are. There's just one just there, there's another one just here, quite worn, but it just shows they are still in the area. And as you can see here, that's where there used to be a shell as well, which is sadly long gone. But then this here, you've got blocks like this which are full of fossils. So just down there, there's a couple of old caves as well, and they were natural underwater caves, and they was lived in the prehistoric times as well. There's 3 or 4 caves. Again, it is not recommended to go to those and access those due to the height and safety of the area. And again, they are on private land. So as we get onto the top of the ridge, we're still on the same footpath, and it goes down this way towards the other villages. And just a bit further down, we've got on the edge of the estate WENH 1699, and possible reuse of a very early cross-carved structure with these 2 carry holes at the bottom. Now, it said that that was a boundary stone for the estate, and this footpath was obviously public bridle way and a pack horse route, and that used to go down to the mines and villages, a pub, where the pub is still there, called the Miners' Arms, and used to just carry on, and this was a natural boundary. So as you keep walking down, you get to this path here which splits down this way and that way. Both will bring you down in towards Milltown, and then from there you can get across back onto the ridge, which brings you down towards Matlock, down at the bottom of the valley, several miles away. Now, it is important that in this area you do stay on the footpath, because there's a lot of old quarries, mines and hazards. It is fenced off to guide you, so please always stay on the footpaths, and you can get to where you're getting to nice and safely.